We're going to do what's called a heel grind. So this is like a morning routine that I teach people. You're going to take the ball on the heel of your foot and plant the ball of the foot. That's a lot of ball talk, but so ball of the foot is on the ground, heel is on the actual ball. And you're going to take your heel and you're going to roll it back and forth. And I want you to encourage pressure. Okay, so I know it's probably a little uncomfortable. The ball's going to move, just move with the foot. All that crunching and grinding, that's all that fascia that needs to be broken up. So when you don't move your body, it becomes plastic-like. And so we want it more elastic-like. And then if you find a spot on the heel, I want you to create a pressure point, and we're just going to press into that and breathe into it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so now we're going to go through the center of the foot. So as you do that, you're going to go through the center from the ball of the foot back to the heel of the foot. If that was like a bumper lane, you're going to go from the ball to the heel. So we're going to roll right through that plantar tendon. You'll thank me later, but just encourage that release. So when people have things like knee pain and calf issues, even IT band issues, the first thing I look at is the feet, because that foot is often creating a pattern for the knee and the hip to follow. And when you're in shoes all day, that really masks that. So now just kind of change the angle of your foot and go right through the arch. And so if you know anything about reflexology, the arch of the foot area is the spine, right down this inside edge. The heel of the foot is more of the pelvic area. That center of the foot, you're in the intestines, which we talked about today, the liver, the kidney, the heart. And then once you've rolled that out, now plant the heel of the foot down, and you're just behind the ridge of the ball of the foot. So that's where the black ball is going to be, is right behind the ball of the foot. And now you're going to keep your heel planted, and you're going to wave your foot. So you're going to go side to side.
Hope, not everybody here is a student, so they haven't heard me go on and on about fascia. So if you want to talk about fascia a little bit and why we want to break this up.
Absolutely. So fascia is like the netting. It's like a spider web over your entire body. Every muscle group of a part of your body, every fiber of every muscle. It's actually a part of every cell. When you're at 2 weeks in an embryonic state, you're actually a bundle of fascia. Like that's where like your arms and your eyes and your nose are all popping out. Okay, so now take that foot. Remember that part we started at? And now step down, close your eyes, and just notice the difference between the foot you rolled and the foot that you didn't.
Wow.
Sometimes we don't notice change because we're changing so much at once. We don't slow down to stop and feel. And so that foot you just rolled out, feel how grounded, how spread, how connected, how anchored. Imagine if you did this every morning before you woke up. Every morning, every night before you went to bed. And how much more alive your body would be. Now take your hands in front of your thighs. Keep your eyes closed for me, and you do you. And just slowly roll yourself down like you're going into a forward bend. All we've done is one foot so far. And so just bring yourself forward and go as far as you can, but notice how each side feels, one side to the other. Maybe there's no difference, maybe there's a subtle difference. Just notice how you feel. And then slowly roll yourself back up with your stacking bricks, one on top, that's your vertebrae. And come back to standing. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other foot. So same thing, just start out by waking up that foot. You choose the amount of pressure, all that clicking and popping. Welcome all of those little bones. Fun fact, your foot has more bones condensed in that area than any other part of your body. And here we are, shoving our feet in shoes all day long. These feet are meant to be expressed and spread. And so getting your shoes off as much as possible. But also when you walk barefoot, it's an acupressure session for every organ in your body. We're talking about digestion, we're talking about hormones, and here we are putting our biggest connector to the earth where we exchange positive and negative ions, where we take in grounding, and we're shoving our feet in shoes every day. And so when we're talking about trying to heal people, these are basic things that people can be doing, that you can be doing every single day. That doesn't take much. Okay, so let's do that heel grind. So ball of the foot on the ground. Your black ball is under the heel, and you're just going to grind side to side. So the ball is going to move, just kind of slide your foot, but I want you to try to encourage pressure here. This is going to hurt. Some people call it hurt. I like to look at it as discomfort. Hurt is having a baby and getting your foot run over by a car. This is discomfort, and discomfort has a varying degree.
Thanks for the visual.
You're welcome. You're welcome. But that reframing is so important. This is not pain. This is discomfort having never done this before and your body isn't used to it. And there are many versions and many shades of discomfort. All right, so now let's take that and find that point on your heel. So there's probably a lot of them, but we're just gonna find a pressure point that feels breathable, and we're gonna lean into that as much as we can tolerate. Let's go for a slow count of 5. Stay calm. 4, relax your face. 3, 2, and 1. Let up on that pressure. Now let's go to the arch of the foot, and we're gonna roll through that plantar tendon. So if the plantar tendon was like a ropey piece of Laffy Taffy, I want you to make it a flat piece of Laffy Taffy. Just keep breathing. We always comment on how beautiful a tree is when it has those beautiful leaves and it's bearing fruit. But what about its root system? Because when that tree looks like that, imagine how healthy its root system is. It's even more amazing, even more beautiful. But yet we don't pay attention to it. Okay, so now we're gonna find the back edge of the ball of the foot. It's gonna feel like a rim. Anchor your heel down, and now you're gonna wave your foot side to side. This, for a lot of people, I see it in men a lot that wear work boots a lot, especially steel toe. They're never able to roll through the ball of the foot. A lot of babies' shoes are hard soled with no flexibility. You're missing out on that full flexion through the ball of the foot. That's when you start to see things like arthritis in the toes, because the ball of the foot has lost some of that mobility. So another good reason to be barefoot. I have a rule with my kids: if you can't bend the shoe in half, you can't tie it. So. Okay, so now once you've done that, you can just move that little guy off to the side. Say goodbye to it for now. And same thing again, come back to center, lift up your toes. See if you can just set them down a little bit wider than before. Relax your arms down at your sides and just let them hang. So traditional Tadasana is this. This is not a relaxed state. Just let your arms hang. And then drop the chin level, relax the shoulders back, pull up through the crown of the head. If you could be an inch taller, if you could be a 1/4 inch taller, it's an internal lengthening, like someone was gonna pull your spine out of the crown of the head. And feel your weight now even on all 4 corners of the feet. That's the ball of the foot and the heel of the foot. Can you anchor yourself at center? And now let's breathe here, up from the balls of the feet, not even up from the belly. So deep inhalation and deep exhalation out through the nose. Deep inhalation, the belly expands, the chest rises, the lungs expand, as much air as you could possibly take in. And now create that exchange, carbon dioxide out, exhale, exhale, exhale. Try to make the belly as small as possible, lungs collapse down, diaphragm deflates. Let's just do that one more time. Inhale deeply, challenge yourself. Your lungs are a muscle. Exhale completely, expel the air. There's usually about 10 to 15% oxygen left when people are exhaling, so try to get that last little bit out. All right, let's add the arms now. You can open the eyes if you'd like. Slight bend in the knees. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, push the palms away like you're pushing through your aura. Inhale again. Exhale. Feet are grounded. Inhale. Make your exhale last the entire arm sweep down, so you got to get your breath out. Inhale. Exhale, regulate the exhale so it lasts the whole way down and you're empty. Inhale, 2 more. Exhale. Last one. And exhale. Take your hands up your hips, so find that hip fold. And thumb and fingertip are right on that hip fold. Feet are gonna stay planted. We're not gonna bend the knees. So there's different versions of a forward bend. We're gonna do a straight-legged forward bend that focuses more on the hamstrings than necessarily the back. So nice deep breath in. And now exhale. As you come forward, I want you to grab your thigh muscles and externally rotate them. Look at your feet because you're coming that way. Do not let your feet roll outward. So press down through the big toe, the ball of the foot behind the big toe, and the heel of the foot. And you're only gonna come as far as your back doesn't round, okay? So you should feel your hamstrings going, hello. And now lean into the balls of the feet like you're looking into a well. No locked knees. Lengthen the crown of the head towards me. And breathe. Let's go 5, 4, 3, 2. Now come up all at once like a forklift is underneath you. Arms come up, inhale. Exhale, arms drop down. 2 more energetically. Force the exhale. 1 more time. Force the exhale. Hands up the thighs. Inhale. Exhale forward. Grab your quad muscle. Rotate the thigh muscle out. Why? Because we want the pits of the knees pointing back. We're trying to reroute the fascia, reroute the muscle. That if you sit a lot, you sit with your legs crossed. There's an internal rotation happening on your body automatically. We're trying to say, no, 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 that's not how you belong. And now lean into the balls of the feet again. We're not locking the knees. So listen carefully. I want you to draw your lower abdomen in. I want you to squeeze your glutes right over your tailbone. And I want you to keep your legs the best you can as they are when you let go of your thighs and bring your arms out like an airplane. Now just peer at your arms so that they're actually out from your shoulders, that they're not pulled back. Your wings are not broken, my friend. Turn your palms towards me. Big inhalation. Reach your arms alongside your ears. Now let's hold it here. 5. You got to keep your legs planted, or the default is to lock. 4. 3, reach your fingertips forward. 2, come up all at once to the top. Inhale, exhale forcefully. Awesome. Inhale, arms come back up. You see the pattern. Exhale, breathe out. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Feet step wide. Come into a straddle. So my toes are forward. We have this anchoring going on in the feet. So instead of rocking into the outer ankles, I want you to keep the feet planted and think more about hugging your hamstrings and glutes. So that's going to keep you from collapsing and overstretching here, and it's going to keep you from locking here. So the feet have to stay planted. That ankle is actually at an angle because your leg is at an angle. And I'm going to engage here to protect my knees. Now inhale, arms come up. Exhale, arms to T. Now when you're at T, if I turn around, I want you to reach out through the fingertips and at the same time squeeze the shoulder blades in. So we have this really healthy shoulder socket. And if I would come over to you and I would push on your arms, you'd resist me without hyperextending the elbow. So if you just bend, there we go. Now resist, you got it. So keep the arms super strong. Keep your body super strong. And reach now to the left. And as you reach to the left, push your right hip as far as you can to the right. So if you were in a toaster, tailbone anchored by a kettlebell, how far can you reach? So what is the pliability of your lateral body? Inhale, back up to center. Fun fact, the less pliable opposite side your obliques are, the less tone you have in your internal oblique, you actually are lacking the support frame for your intestines and your digestive system. So your physical body does play a role in that. Inhale, back up to center. How well can my pelvis move? So I'm gonna slide my hips, then I get to slide my rib cage off. Reach, 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 hug your thighs, come back to center. Pelvis moves. So this moves first, and then I slide off. So you're probably feeling some inner adductor here as well. Back up to center, inhale. Keep hugging your inner thighs, slide off. Now hold it here, drop your front arm, and bring the top of the hand in front of the shin. Bring your opposite arm up, and now stretch. And as you stretch open, I'm either looking down, chin to shoulder, or I'm looking up, chin to shoulder. Stay in that toaster, keep the kettlebell on the tailbone, and try to turn your rib cage open just a little bit more. You can actually take that top arm, and as you inhale, peel the rib open, and exhale, try to create a twist. So a functional version of triangle. Now stay here, exhale, hands to prayer. Press your palms, inhale, come up. Exhale, drop the arms down. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale forcefully, get the exhale out. Inhale, exhale. One more time, inhale, exhale. Inhale, arms back to T. Here we are again, reaching, but I'm engaging the shoulder blades. Hips move first. So my hips are gonna slide to the left. I'm gonna slide to the right. How far can I go? So you're feeling the connection between the inner adductor on the side you're moving towards and that opposite oblique. Lower the front arm down, take the top arm up. So my torso and my hips actually haven't moved at all. I just moved my arms. Now the tailbone again has that kettlebell. Pull your abdomen back in and reach as much as you can, fingertip to fingertip. If your arm span really is your height, be a 1/2 inch taller with your arm span. Now when you take the next inhale, if you need that top hand for help, just peel the ribs back. So there's a rotation happening here when you inhale and exhale in the rib cage that is triggered by the oblique, not by the pelvis. Breathe here. Look where it's comfortable with your head. Let's go 5. Can you be calm? 4, 3, we can do hard things. 2, hands to pressure, press your heart, press your palms together, bring it back up. Good job, exhale, arms down. Here we go again, you know the routine, inhale, exhale. So if we can only take in as much oxygen as we let out carbon dioxide, you gotta exhale forcefully, and the inhale is immediately easier. Exhale. Let's go up with the arms, stay up. Interlace the fingers, now bend the knees. Now as you bend the knees, push up through the palms. My tailbone is gonna exaggerate a tuck so that I can give more focus to the hip flexors. So forward with the pelvis, hug the inner thighs, and extend the arms up and back. Glutes should be charged right now. Exhale, hands come back to prayer. Step the feet together. There's that grounding again, wiggle the toes, bring that awareness back there. Let's work on balance. So my pelvis is in what we call neutral. So that means the pubis bone and the hip bones are parallel to whatever wall you're facing. We're looking at bony landmarks, not at flesh. So most of the time for women, it's gonna be a posterior tuck. Now my glutes are underneath me. So if you have back problems, now my glutes are where they belong and your core automatically comes back in versus this. So we're just redirecting where our body should go. Now here's the challenge. As I'm grounded in my legs and I'm strong in my thighs, take your hands to your thighs and add that little bit of external rotation without this, all right? So we're retraining the musculature in our legs, how they really should be working. And then if you're like, oh, I don't have flat feet anymore, flat feet isn't a real thing. It's a realignment of the bones. And so nobody's born with flat feet. You are an adaptation to your environment over time. So what has your environment done to your body? What are your shoes? The types of surfaces you walk on, how you sleep. You are an adaptation to your environment over time. How do we do that? We change our environment. That's how we change our body. And so as you look at your feet, as you rotate the thighs, my glutes are automatically squeezing, they're automatically engaging. Here is the challenge. How can I bring my weight over to my right foot without doing this? This action means you have no load structuring in your leg. This is why women do this. They have no load support in their glute and hip or in their oblique. So you have to keep that underneath you. And the only way to do that is if this is strong, okay? So as I'm thinking about my right leg, we're gonna peel the heel up on that left side first. So I'm slowly gonna take my left heel off the ground without this happening, okay? So if I see you shift, you're not using your body weight correctly, okay? So we're gonna stay grounded, we're gonna stay tucked, and I'm gonna pick my heel up without shifting my weight to the right as much as I can. A little bit harder than you think, huh? All of a sudden balance completely changes. So how high can I bring that heel? Can I make it to the ball of my foot? This leg, that right leg, that base leg should just be on fire right now, charged. Now, as you start to think about taking the ball of the foot of that left leg off the ground, you have to minimize that sway. I'm talking like 10% or less. If it's more than 10%, you're actually not ready for balance. So how much can I take that foot off the ground? The second your body wants to roll, twist, turn, you're using neighboring muscles that aren't a part of the plan. That's that rewiring, that's that rerouting. Now nice and tall up through the top of the head. Wherever you're at, honor that, hands to prayer. Press your palms. And now if your thumbs were an outlet, plug your thumbs right into your heart center. Breathe here with me. Find a focal point, I'd say like 6 to 8 feet out, maybe more, maybe less. And now keep looking at that point and close your eyes. Use your breath to regulate your balance. Take your teeth and pull them apart. And lengthen through the crown of the head. Grow your roots. You are that tree. Your foot's off the ground, awesome. If it's not, you are still working on balance. Balance is not your foot off the ground. Balance is the ability for the trunk and the root of your body to be steady and stable. Now slowly set that foot back down. Try to set it the exact place it was before. Open your eyes and look down, see how close you came. Pretty good. And normally I don't point at people, but I'm gonna point. And so I want you to turn your toes a little bit more forward, your feet a little bit more forward, balls of the feet inward. Yep, yep, just even more. Yep, yep, Candy, even more. Yep, there you go. In the back, even more, yep. So that's forward. So we're looking at through the second and third toe, the center line of the foot. So, because the big toe can, hammer toes and stuff can be a bad directional, that's center. Because when you walk through the foot, that's actually where you should be rolling through the foot. That's the action. If you've ever studied like chi running or chi walking, that's the action that you want when you walk through. And so let's do the opposite side. So toes nice and grounded, pelvis is neutral. I'm externally rotating my thighs. That if you look in the mirror, there's like two little slits here, the little pits of the knee. That should be pointing straight back. For most people, they're pointing outward. So we want to have that good rotation. Okay, we're grounded, we're tall. Let's start picking the heel up off the ground on that right side. I'm strong through the crown of the head. Usually one side is a little bit more charged, a little bit easier. Hands at prayer when you're ready, plug them into the heart center. Press your palms. And how much can I take that foot up off the ground? You have to be disciplined. You have to put the ego aside. This is not about where my foot goes when I lift it. This is about how charged I can keep my base leg in order to lift it. How can I keep that glute tucked under me and not let it pull out next to me? Be tall, and when you're ready, keep looking at your focal point and close your eyes. So now the true test of balance. That wobbliness, that shakiness, that's a good thing. It means your body is saying, hey, there's muscles I need to use here. I need a redirection. Breathe with me. Let's hold your 5, 4, 3, 2. Now set the foot back exactly where it came from. Like sneaking the car in when you're under 16, borrowing the vehicle. I did not do that. Spread your toes nice and wide, bend your knees, arms come up overhead. Exhale forcefully. Inhale. Exhale all the BS from your entire life that just doesn't matter anymore. Exhale. Feet step wide. So when we're in that straddle again, turn out with the right toes. So we're lining up with the line on the ground or the mat the best you can honor your body. But that back foot's going to kick in. So rule of thumb, the heel is always a better anchor point because it's closer to the nearest joint than the pinky toe or the ball of the foot. So that's always kind of a nice gauge. You can choose your angle, but that's kind of a nice gauge. Now open your pelvis towards me or the length of your mat, and you're probably going to notice that front leg is kind of turning in. That's that external rotation. So how much does my hip let me move nice and tall? Exhale, bend the front knee without sliding your torso forward. So I'm just going straight down with my torso. Now, if you have a pretty good stride, you're going to notice this. Just walk your foot out. Just walk your foot out so that the knee has a little something to stand on. And let's redirect again just a little bit the pelvis, a little bit the ribs, a little bit the shoulders, and then there are my arms again, out at T. Reaching through the fingertips and squeezing the shoulder blades without popping the ribs. So let's review. Our body's like a house. We have our roots or the foundation, they're plugged in. The outside edges of the legs, the frame, we're squeezing it together so we can peel open the front. My front core is engaged. My ribs are expansive. My roof, my shoulder girdle, my arms. Now, as you turn and look out over the front fingertips, don't just tip the head. How much can you rotate the actual neck to bring the bottom of the chin over the top of the shoulder as much as you can? Now, when you look out over your fingertips, this is called your drishti in yoga, means your focal point. How much can you discipline the eyes? The hardest part of yoga. This is the part where people can just kind of wander their mind, wander their eyes, and you never know. Breathe with me. Now, deep inhalation, palms turn up. Look towards me, arms come up. Exhale, arms come back to T. We're not going to reach forward. All I want you to do is take that front forearm and barely rest it on the thigh. Like if I would come, I could tap it right off. Take your top arm, grab your bottom ribs, deep breath in with me. and rotate yourself open. Use that top hand to gently press the top ribs back. Now I'm either gonna tuck the arm and roll the shoulder open, chin to shoulder looking up, chin to shoulder looking down, top arm otherwise is gonna reach. Now as you're reaching, if you're choosing to reach, take your bottom arm and press it against the inner thigh. There we are measuring our height again. Open the heart. Use the pressure against the leg to open the chest. Let's go 5, 4, 3, 2. You are planted. Now lift your torso, just your torso. Come back up to warrior 2. Look out over your front fingertips. Level the hips. Find your drishti. And breathe with me. You are strong. You are powerful. Palms turn up, look up. Front leg straightens. Exhale, arms come down. Nice job. Let's try the opposite side. Turn to the opposite way. So again, my feet are planted. And if your feet feel fatigued, good news, you're using all the structural muscles around your ankles, around your feet that you're not normally using. So again, back foot, we just want a slight anchor in that heel as much as your body will let you. And I'm not dumping into the outer edge of the foot. I'm really pressing through these inner 2 points here on the ball of the foot and the heel so that ankle stays at an angle. All right, pelvis is level. We're going straight down. So as I go straight down, I might have to lengthen my stride. That's good. That's a good problem to have. Back sides of the legs, glutes are engaging. Take your hands now, and I want you to place your hands at your ribs and just rotate the torso. And as you rotate the torso open, take your arms in front now. Now imagine you are the strongest person here. You're gonna grab a pipe, and you are gonna bend the pipe like the Incredible Hulk. The pipe is strong, but you are stronger. And as you do that, your palms and forearms turn up. Now keep that action and open your arms to T without popping your ribs. You should feel really engaged in the upper back. Welcome to your upper traps. And so depression, anxiety, closed chest, closed off body, you can't breathe. You can't deeply breathe when you're sitting in this type of a position. We need to open ourselves. And in order to do that, we need to strengthen here. Now find that focal point out over your front fingertips, this time palm up. Find the very edge of your fingertips. Study the very edges of your fingertips. Breathe with me and just sink into your hips just a little bit more. Remember, this is just discomfort. Varying levels of discomfort. Stress is healthy. Inhale, stay in the lower body, look towards me, arms come up. Exhale, arms come back to T. All we're doing is taking that front forearm and barely touching the thigh. Take your top arm to the bottom ribs, and remember, on the inhale, we're gonna turn and exhale, complete that rotation. Either tucking the top arm, maximize that front top shoulder open, or I can take the arm and I'm gonna reach. Reach, reach, reach. Like if you were sinking in the ocean and this was your last chance to be seen, reach your fingertips just a little higher. Pull your oblique, like it was tucked into your pants, out of that side hip. Take your bottom arm now and press it. Give yourself a good little force, I'd say like 30% of your strength. Press it against the inside of the leg and expose your heart even more. You are capable. You are strong. You are able. Let's go 5. Bend the front knee just a little bit more for me. 4. You got this. Reach. 3. 2. Up into warrior 2. You're calm. You're calm. You're calm. Hold 2. Hold 1. Arms come up. Feet parallel. Look up. Exhale, arms come down. 2 more breaths, you know the routine. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Bend your knees, walk your feet in. Shake out your legs, shake out your arms. All right, let's come down to seated, and feel free if you need a blanket or a towel, grab something to sit on, or maybe your neighbor is like, you can sit on the corner of my mat, that's okay.
I have some more towels in here.
Oh, she's got some over here.
Okay, I've got more there for you.
Thank you. Perfect. And so sit in whatever position is comfortable for you. If kneeling is better, you can do that. If you need to sit on your blanket or on your sweatshirt, that's fine too. And so hands on the knees, these are gonna be our anchor points. And with your hands on your knees, just relax the shoulders down and back. And we're gonna work with some torso circling to really bring energy up our body to help churn digestion, get our agni going in our belly, and just again create a good sense of grounding. So I'm opposite. So this is your left, this is your right, okay? So I'm gonna press my left hand into my left knee and take my left shoulder to my right knee. So it's gonna look like this. Okay, that's the action. And then come across your shins as low as you can go. Now press your right hand into your left knee and bring that right shoulder to your left knee as you come up. So it's opposites on the downswing and it's opposites on the up circle. Does that make sense? So I'm trying to connect here and I'm trying to connect here as I come up. So we're gonna do it 5 times one way and then you're gonna reverse it and go 5 times the other way. Exaggerate the spinal rotation, not just the twisting in here, all right? So we want full undulation of the spine. So nice deep breath in. Exhale down, over, inhale up. Exhale down, over, inhale up. Exhale down, over, inhale up. Exaggerate that motion, down, breathe with me, over and up. One more time. How much can I turn my torso and how much can I rotate my lower spine? And then reverse it. Now I'm gonna go right shoulder to left knee, left shoulder to right knee. I'm pushing away, using my hand to create lengthening in my lower back. If you've been wearing a shirt too tightly tucked in for years, AKA your lower back is stiff, this is a great movement in the morning to wake up your lower lumbar. Got 2 more. Keep breathing. Even if your breathing gets off, I just want you to breathe. Name of the game here in yoga is just breathing. And then back up to center. I'm gonna turn sideways, you're gonna stay exactly where you are. Hands are still on the knees. Uncross and recross the legs. So this is usually the uncomfortable way that nobody likes, but we're gonna roll with it. Nice deep breath in. Exhale, rock back by tucking your tailbone, pulling your shoulder blades together, chin to chest, and spread between your shoulder blades with your body weight as much as you can. Inhale, sit tall, lift your heart, arc your back, look up, squeeze your shoulder blades. So seated cat-cow. Exhale, reverse it, slide back the way you came. Lean back, inhale up. Arc your back, look up, stretch through your chin. Exhale back. Can you make your breath last the whole way back? And can you make your breath last the whole way up? So now you're gonna do this on your own for a few rounds. But what I want you to focus on is as you go back, you can't move until your exhale is fully completed. And as you come up, you can't go back into the other movement until your inhale is fully completed. And once you've regulated that, I want you to add in a very small pause where you're not breathing at the very edge of each of the movements. And then you're going back to center. And then you're going back to the other movement. So in yoga philosophy, we often talk about the space between the inhale and exhale is actually when we hear God speak. And so as we start to slow our breath, we regulate our breath, the pause between the inhale and exhale actually becomes longer all on its own. That's our place and our ability to hear, to listen, to be present. That's where all the magic happens. One more time each way, and then you're gonna settle yourself at center. Once at center, bottoms of the feet together. This is called bound navel. Now, bigger issue with the knees, hips are tight, you're kind of here, just keep pushing your heels out until you feel like your legs can relax. So wherever that is for you, you're nice and tall. Back up through the crown of the head and try grabbing towards the underside because we're gonna create a little leverage here. As I grab more on the underside, as I push my legs down, I'm gonna try to pull up and resist against it. So now I have a little bit of extra opening in the hips happening. Close your eyes and try to drop your shoulders down away from your neck another 1/4 of an inch. As you inhale, try to lengthen up through the back of the neck more than the front of the neck. As you exhale again, try to press your knees down just a smidge more towards the floor. You are open, you are grounded, you are centered. Your body is the most impressive vehicle you will ever own. You may try to put nice things into it, even treat it nice, but are you present in it? Open your eyes. Now rock back just enough towards the glute. You're gonna kind of go right behind those sitting bones. You'll feel a little badunk-a-dunk happen. And once you find that place, see if you can lift the legs up off the ground without doing this, without rounding the body. So now our core is alive. Maybe using my hands for assistance, and that's okay. If you're like, I'm just on my heels, that's all right too. All right, remove the hands and take them underneath the knees. And either one, I'm just gonna let my heels hang here, or two, I'm gonna bring my feet barely up off the ground. Now in boat, Navasana, we're on the shelf between our tailbone and our sit bones, okay? So I'm not on my tailbone, I'm also not forward of my sit bones, or you'll be really struggling with balance. But there's this tiny little alleyway of muscle tissue that we can balance on. Now, when you're balancing here, we don't want to just rely on the back. So let's think pelvic floor. So that's anal sphincter to pubis bone, sit bone to sit bone. It's actually like a little triangle, like the vent on yoga pants for women, like they made it look just like the pelvic floor. And so I want you to think about drawing up from, let's start with the anal sphincter. So that anal sphincter is like 2 to 3 centimeters that we can actually contract muscle with our mind. And so I want you to pull inward. We're used to pushing out. I want you to pull in just on the anal sphincter. And when you think about only that area, your glutes should be like, oh, now I'm gonna automatically engage together. But you can bypass the anal sphincter and just squeeze the glutes. So I want you to only think about that anal sphincter. Pull in, pull in, pull in. And see if you can just hold that. Let's hold 5, lift the heart. Hold 4, don't let that squeeze out. Hold 3, hold 2, hold 1, now drop towards your heels. Sit nice and tall, pull your knees apart, lift your heart. Exhale back to center. Now we're gonna move mentally forward. I'm trying to give you like the tiniest version of a pelvic floor class that usually takes 3 days to teach. So as we think about our pelvic floor, we're gonna move now to the center. So if I had a pole, I would take it down through the top of my head, it would come right out the vaginal passageway. So there's muscles in there, okay? There's muscles in there. We want to engage them. So if you would think of like holding the tampon or engaging during intercourse, those are your muscles in your pelvic floor that we need to engage. So like leakage, anything like that, like incontinent issues, those are not a result of aging. Those are a result of atrophy, which does not have to be coupled with aging. And so we want to think about using those muscles. And the last is the perineum. If you've ever stopped urine midstream, it's actually a great pelvic floor practice. If you can stop your urine in the middle, you have pretty good pelvic floor health, at least in the frontal area. So anal sphincter, we're engaging on that anal area. We have vaginal passageway. We're thinking about hugging, okay, internally. And that vaginal passageway, you know you're doing it right because you should feel it here. Okay, you should feel it. We're not sucking in. That is the wrong way to work the pelvic floor. Because like an hourglass, if you hold the middle of the hourglass, what's going to happen to the bottom and the top? They're going to burst out. So you're actually putting more pressure on your pelvic floor in an improper way, usually with weak areas or weak muscles. So anal sphincter, vaginal passageway, and then the perineum area, which is right up by the pubis bone. We're going to try to pull up and engage. Okay, we're not going to Kegel pulse. Research has shown that that is not as effective as long holds. So at like when you're driving, think about how long can I hold this red light? Can I hold this contraction the entire length of the red light? Can I hold this contraction the entire length of this really boring conversation I'm in right now? And I'm just gonna smile and nod. But really, I'm thinking about my pelvic floor. Like, how long can I create this engagement? So we're gonna use that engagement to build core strength now in boat pose. So we're back here again, okay? I'm nice and tall, my back's not rounded. I'm gonna rock back to that fleshy little shelf. I can use my toes if I need to. Now let's work from the back to the front. So I'm going to think anal sphincter. I'm going to think vaginal passageway. That's what's going to get my lower abs to engage. I'm going to think about that urethra area. Shoulders drop back, chin is level. And now can I bring my feet maybe just an inch or 2 up off the floor? Don't worry about this hogwash of heels up at knee height. Like, forget about that. I just want you to try to find that pelvic floor initiated core strength. Use your arms as much as you need to be a guidepost and an assistance for you to not dysregulate this area of the body. The arms are the ego, okay? If it's like, I gotta have my arms let go, but your pelvic floor is just shaking and just struggling, you're doing this with the mind, not the body. If you can keep that nice engagement, see what happens if you let go, or maybe just with one hand. Keep the chest lifted. Keep the shoulders back. Be calm here. Let's go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop the feet. Hands come behind you. Now turn your fingertips towards you. Fingertips nice and wide, just like we were doing with the feet. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Squeeze the elbows together. Phase 1, I want you to arc your back as much as you can. So don't lock out the elbows. Just arc your back. Lift your heart. Slightly look up. My vertigo friends, you're going to keep your chin tucked to your chest the whole time. Phase 2, lift your hips barely. Now you're like a hammock with a saggy middle. Phase 3, I'm going to lift my hips. Keep the folds of my elbows pointing to my knees, my thumb and pointer finger planted, and now imagine your tailbone being hooked at the ceiling. So now I got those glutes in. So you have 3 points or 3 phases you can work through. If your neck will allow you, you can drop the head back, reach through the chin, create an underbite for yourself. Let's hold here. 5, push through the big toe. 4, you got it. 3, 2, down slow, bend the elbows, drop your hips, bottoms of the feet together. You're nice and tall again. Grab the underside of the ankle. Exhale forward just as much as you can. Elbows pressed to the insides of the thighs. Pull your shoulders back. How fluid is my breath? How willing is my breath? Your breath is your constant guide for every situation, every pose, every moment. Inhale, come back up. Knees come together. We're back in boat pose. Hands under the knees. Remember, we're going anal sphincter. Find that shelf. Engage anal sphincter. Engage vaginal passageway. Engage the perineal area. Really pull up. No rounding. Lift through the heart. Drop the shoulder blades. If you can reduce the amount of hand holding, just even let up on your hands. Sometimes we just need that mental support there. If your arms are ready to let go, awesome. If not, you're going to stay exactly where you are. Internally, what am I turning on? It doesn't matter how it executes externally here. Let's go 4, 3, lift your heart a little bit more for me. 2, there we go. 1, feet drop down, hands behind. You know where we're going here. Pull the elbows together tightly. Lift the heart, arc the back as much as you can. You're going to stay here. Lift the hips just slightly. Go into that hammock, or we're going to go into full table. Try to turn the tailbone up to the ceiling to turn on the glutes. Chin is either at the chest. If you have any type of neck issues, any type of vertigo issues or a passive vertigo, unregulated high blood pressure, you're going to want to keep that chin at the chest. Otherwise, drop the head back. Breathe with me. Let's go 5. Let's go 4. Push into your big toe a little bit more. See what happens. 3, 2, and down slow. Bend the elbows on the downswing. Hands underneath the knees. Let's roll it back. Knees into the chest. Give yourself a nice hug. Keep hugging your left knee and extend your right leg out. Now, as you extend your right leg out and down onto the ground, flex your right heel and push through the heel as much as you can. Try to make that leg a little bit longer as you push it forcefully into the ground. Now, keep that straight leg nice and strong. Exhale, compress the thigh to the belly of the clasped leg, either over the shin or the hamstring, your choice. Curl up nose to knees, but do not use or strain the muscles of the neck. So now you're going to curl up nose to knee as much as you can. Compress the leg to the belly. Inhale, lower down, full body stretch. So I'm going to reach my arms overhead, arc the back, point through the toes, exaggerate the length of the body. Take up space in your life. It is okay to be big. Exhale, flex the feet again, press your quads and press your calves into the ground. Take the opposite leg in, compress the leg to the belly. You can soften that foot if you want. Curl up nose to knees, but make your core do the lifting, not your neck and shoulders. Curl it up. Keep reaching through the straight legs heel. Let's go 5, compress. 4, 3, 2, 1, down slow, full extension. Reach, stretch, point the toes. It's like a morning stretch. You watch babies do this and they do it for like 15 minutes. And then as adults, we just like rip ourselves out of bed. No wonder we feel like trash. Exhale, both knees into the chest. Compress the legs over the belly. Curl up nose to knees again. Soften the shoulders. Lower the head down. Feet drop to the floor, kind of underneath the hips. So there's kind of a misteaching in yoga that we need to tuck the heels really tightly underneath the hips. But if we have lower back problems or we have tight pelvis, that just creates so much compression in the lower back. So I want you to have a little bit of space. You should not be able to touch your heels, but they shouldn't be so far out that they're beyond your knees. So kind of like right under the knee is a good mental gauge for you. As you exhale, press your lower back into the floor, and we're gonna peel our spine off the ground like tape. So if we're starting at the tailbone, I want you to press your lower back into the floor and start to peel the tape of your spine off the ground. So we're gonna start with the tailbone, then the pelvis, start lifting, just keep breathing with me. Now the lower back lifts. Now we're maybe at like the bra line, between the shoulder blades. The chin at this point is sliding into the chest. Now we're up near the shoulder blades, top part of the shoulder blades, and just wiggle your shoulders together. Create a little base for yourself. So rock to the right, tuck the left in. Rock to the left, tuck the right in. If you can clasp fingertips, great. If not, grab these sides of your mat. Just press your arms to the floor. Now, as you come into bridge, that being big image again, try to breathe into your lungs on all sides. We talk in yoga a lot about breathing deep into the belly, but you have 6 lobes to the lungs. We should be breathing on all sides. So try to inflate the lungs, inflate the ribs. Now push down through all 4 corners of the feet again. If you find yourself on the pinky toe or on the heel, use the whole foot. Let the knees narrow slightly. Just bring them in just a hair. It's like, oh, there's my quads. Let's go 5, 4, 3, 2. Now listen carefully. Lift your heels high, deep breath in. Put the tape back down. So you have to start between your shoulder blades, tuck your tailbone, get down to the bottom of the ribs, roll through the entire lower back, roll your sacrum onto the ground, and once your sacrum hits the ground, slide your legs out, full body stretch, reach, inhale. Exhale, right knee into the chest, just get the right side, and lift your thigh. Take your left hand on the outside of the right knee and take it across your body. As you take the leg across the body, don't worry about it getting to the floor. The floor is not the goal. Take your opposite arm. So right leg's coming across the body. Take your right arm, make it like a goalpost, and lay it on the floor like a goalpost. Pick up your head and look at the thumb of your goalpost. Now, when you're twisting, we don't want to shove the knee to the ground, and the reason being is the sacrum, they're like floorboards. It's not a ball and socket joint. So when you're shoving your knee to the ground and you're laying like this, those boards are gonna buckle. Now all of a sudden you have SI joints, especially for women. We have a more mobile pelvis, especially during our cycle, our pelvis is even more mobile and expansive. So instead, think about your knee sliding towards the wall in front of you. And as the knee kind of imaginarily slides forward, try to anchor the opposite shoulder and shoulder blade down. This is a great bedtime twist. Take the pillow out from under your head, put the pillow under your knee, and just kind of wake your body up in the morning. Set your alarm 5 or 10 minutes earlier, and do your knees into your chest. Do this simple twist. Be like the baby in the crib where it's like, please don't pick me up, Mom. I'm not ready yet. Now roll back to center. Let that knee hug in one more time into your chest. And as you slide that leg out, hold the opposite in. So you're gonna bring the knee in, give it a nice hug. Your hip joint will help, will thank you for that. Opposite hand to the outside of the knee, pull it across the midline. Sometimes you have to scoochie your hips a little bit, and that's okay. Now take your opposite arm like a goalpost. Why a goalpost? If you're really stiff in the upper thoracic region, the shoulder area especially, that goalpost arm actually helps that shoulder blade slide down a little more, and it'll give you more opening in the chest. Now, where do I look with my eyes? You can find that goalpost thumb. If that bothers your neck, that might be something to explore. Why does one side rotation feel better for me than opposite side rotation? As you inhale deeply, your body is expansive, and as you exhale, the bent knee is sliding across the floor away from you, creating length in your lower back, honoring your sacrum. Let gravity help you here. Gravity is our friend. One more really deep breath in. And as you exhale, knee peels back onto the belly. One last time, give it a nice hug. Let your opposite leg join it. So both knees are into the chest. Rock side to side on your sacrum. It's like when you bring a lawn chair to a concert, you have to kind of adjust it into the ground to find your spot. And then slide one leg out, and then the opposite. One more time, arms come overhead alongside the ears. Full body stretch. Point your toes as much as you possibly can. And reach your fingertips as much as you possibly can. Be expansive. Take up space. And when you're ready, exhale. Bring your arms down to your sides, palms up. Just draw your attention down to your legs one more time for me. And on the exhalation, if your legs were like windshield wipers, I want you to internally rotate your legs. Try to touch your big toes to the floor at the center line. So internally rotate. Make that rotation happen from the hip the best you can. And just hold that 3, 2, 1. Now do the opposite action. Externally rotate and try to push your pinky toes to the ground. Hold that 4, 3, 2, 1. Then relax your legs. Bring attention to your arms and just for a moment turn your palms down and push your arms into the floor. Hold that for 3, 2, 1. And let them float up and externally rotate. Palms turn up, arms are on the ground. And push your thumbs into the ground. Push your shoulder blades into the ground. Squeeze them together. Hold that 3. Hold that 2. Hold that 1. Relax your arms. Bring your awareness to your face and your chest. And I want you to scrunch your face. Make the maddest, most angriest, most frustrated face. And retain your breath. And really clench your chest and abdomen. Here we go. Let's hold that for 5, 4. Bring all the tension and let it pool in that part of the body. 3, 2, 1, and exhale and just soften. Just soften and breathe. As you soften and breathe, I'm going to come around, and it's a little bit of some cooling gel. It's a muscle relaxer on the neck. There is no chemicals in it at all. If you would like to receive that, keep your palms up. If you're like, no, it's okay, just turn your palms down. So you're kind of in that palms up position right now. If not, you can just turn your palms down and I'll pass you by. But as you're laying here for the next 5 minutes, anytime your mind wanders away from your breath, your only focus, your only job, your only role as a human being in this earth at this point right now is for you to focus on your breath. There's nothing else you need to do. No phone calls, no job duties, nobody to take care of, only your breath. And at any time that your mind tries to trick you into believing that there is a thought, there is a person, there is an activity, or there is a place more important than right now, we call this the present, please know that it is lying to you. And you owe it to yourself and the people that you love in your life to take 5 minutes out of your day today for you to only focus on a single life force that brings you into existence. We call it prana, which is life force. Some people call it chi. You can call it God, whatever next for you. And drink the elixir that feeds your soul and body. If your mind wanders away, show grace. Just come back. anytime your mind tries to take you away, your only priority, your only job, your only goal is to not just breathe, but to focus on it. Again, if your mind has wandered away, show yourself grace. Bring it back. We all have this rim, this edge, where our attention can no longer handle it. It's like, okay, this is my tolerance level. This is as much as I want to pay attention. That is the edge of your progress. You've met the capacity in which you have challenged yourself up to this point to be present. You've met that edge. Now you have to decide, will I keep going and pay attention, or will I let my thoughts come in? Or I'll let the habitualness of how some of my life is run step back in and say, nope, you will not be present. Listen carefully. Without opening your eyes, I want you to take your right hand and place it over your belly. This is your identity center. This is where you lives. This is where the physical you manifests. Who do you want to be? Who are you trying to become? And place your other hand over your heart. This is where love resides. But first, love for yourself. And for the next 60 seconds, I want you in your mind to quietly whisper to yourself every amazing quality that you can think of about yourself. And at the second the mind goes, I don't think so, I want you to say that 5 more times to yourself. And so for the next 60 seconds, every quality you think you bring to the table in life, whether it's known or unknown, whether you use it or you haven't yet, I want you to recite that to yourself. We're going to recite it in a quiet whisper, because when we keep things to ourselves, they don't happen. Let your neighbor hear you. For the next 60 seconds, I want that whisper of your qualities in life that you bring to the table.